Hello, everyone. How are you doing? This video today is that Boeing employees overwhelmingly vote to strike, and they are striking. And QA expert will explain on this neck of the woods because we're probably going to go down there ourselves, down to Washington, their corporate headquarters, because we put a 42-page document into their board members, 11 of them, to either be their CEO or to be the head of their quality department because of our background in quality. Again, this is Daryl, Guberman, CEO of Guberman PMC LLC, a quality consulting firm here in Connecticut, plus an ISO registration company. We want to say this to, again, the IAM 751 personnel, especially the board, the leadership. You have to demand the board of Boeing, the people who we sent the 42-page document with 11 letters of recommendation. I don't even think they looked at it. And you know something? I'm a shareholder. I own a piece of that company. Whether it's 3 shares, 6 shares, 1,000 shares, you don't need 50,000 to say I'm there. Okay? Any piece is a piece. So yes, I am a shareholder of Boeing, and let me tell you what to do. Go to the board and demand the board that David Calhoun relinquishes his $45 million and have that money just as a check given to all 32,000 of you, which is $1,406.25. I already figured the math out. Okay, $1,406.25. I was there on June 18th listening to Mr. David Calhoun. Many people out there say, Daryl, they're CEOs. They don't have to know every facet of the company. Oh, yeah, they do. In order for you to be able to give information to the board that is going to be quantifiable, that the company is running well, you can get reports from each sector. And if there's any problems, they should talk to the CEO about these problems. Instead, Mr. Calhoun, from what I gathered, was in his house in New Hampshire, probably playing golf. Okay? Don't get me wrong. Everybody needs a break, but these guys, in this world, it appears that our leadership at these corporations don't give a shit about the quality of the products that they're producing. You can look at it. I'll give you a for instance. Elon Musk. He did say something that was true, that you have to have a technical knowledge if you're going to be leading a technical company, like an aerospace company, like a car company. You have to have technical expertise. And most people that are leading do not. And I'm not saying everyone. I'm saying, oh, look at David Calhoun, Boeing. He's a accountant. So, where do we go from here? Demand that David Calhoun relinquishes $45 million. But you know what? All these board members, you talk about professionalism and integrity, they never even had the decency to put a letter together and say, Mr. Guberman, thank you very much for your application. We sent it off to Human Resources, some fluff letter. None of them responded. Well, I think most of them think that I'm a crazy quality control guy. Not crazy, but I know too much. Okay? The seedy background of Boeing. So let me tell you some. I've said this before. I will tell you the litany again, ladies and gentlemen, business owners. IAM 751. In 2001, after 9/11, which has just passed, I think today's Friday the 13th, and in 2001, when the 9/11 happened, Boeing had about 500 and some odd aircraft that they were going to build on schedule. What happened is, of course, after the 9/11, that went right down the shitter, and they only got about 400 ships, to build. They said that they were going to lay off 20 to 30,000 employees. That was in September of 2001. In April of 2002, Boeing got together with Performance Review Institute for special processes, heat treat, welding, non-destructive testing, radiography, etc., penetrant inspection. Said, listen, send in your. This is what they said basically, They didn't directly say it in their supplier bulletin, but they also didn't have a Boeing logo on the letterhead that went out to customers. It was just a plain old nothingness. I have that too. And send us your cert, send us your parts, and Boeing doesn't have to send any inspectors to your facility. Just a couple months later, in July, they came out with a supplier procurement bulletin that said, send in your AS9100 certificate as long as it's ANSI ANAB accredited. Send in your certificate, send in your parts, and Boeing doesn't have to come out to inspect your facility. They also, that's the procurement that ANSI ANAB is on their supplier portal. It says third-party register must be ANSI ANAB or international equivalent, could be China, Iran, Pakistan, and ANSI ANAB are their equivalent, meaning that they're equivalent to ANSI ANAB accreditation. Number 3 was that Boeing sits on the management committee board that can grant, suspend, and withdraw certification of ANSI ANAB. To make matters even better, ANSI is the founder of the International Accreditation Forum, which is an organization that has it was formulated that has an association of accreditation bodies, both national and international, along with their sister organization, IALAC, International Laboratory Accreditation Cooperation in Australia. They are underwriters, which means ANSI ANAB, as underwriters, take all systematic and product failure. I've been trying to tell you this, but all these people are making excuses. Oh, they can't do that. Anyway, going on further, in 2009, Boeing was made an FAA regulator, meaning that they are equivalent as an agency of the FAA. They do not, and I repeat this again, they do not have to tell anyone about the MCAS system, new aircraft designs, and any type of testing that they were doing on these aircraft because the FAA made them a self-certification organization, okay? The inspectors, the Boeing employees who are made FAA inspectors are getting their salary from Boeing. So who do you think these inspectors were going to have allegiance with? On top of that, I have a document that said these inspectors would tell the FAA most of the issues that were going on the shop floor, okay, as far as with the aircraft. Most, okay? Do you like that so far? And then in 2018-19, when the Ethiopian Air and Indonesian Air crashed, the FAA came out, with a spokesperson did. Nobody talks to anybody in these federal agencies, and if they're not talking to each other, how can we have reliability on the medications that are coming out of the FDA? And they sit on ANSI ANAB too. And they're also a customer of ANSI ANAB, just like DHS, DOJ, and Department of Commerce. They're not only members, they're customers. So how can we have reliability when in 2019 an FAA member of the FAA said that the FAA never allows a company to police themselves or to self-certify their own aircraft? But in 2009, the FAA did. And then you hear about the DOJ, who's a customer of ANSI ANAB, the accreditation body of Boeing, that they mandate and shove down their suppliers and subcontractors' throats. The DOJ said that Boeing lied to the FAA about the MCAS system. No, by them being made a member of the IAM, a member of the FAA, Boeing, they didn't have to tell the pilots anything. They didn't have to tell the FAA anything. They were going free willy. And that's the thing that they don't want out, these news people. I've got 40 years of experience. They don't want you, the flying customers of these airlines, they don't want you to know that for 22 years they neglected to go out and inspect it. In fact, during Dennis Muhlenberg's term, before he got canned, okay, I think they had a transition. They got rid of 900 inspectors. But they said they moved them around, but they weren't inspectors anymore. I guess they were part of manufacturing. So they eliminated that. Because if you have inspection, it slows down the process a little bit. So it's pushed the damn stuff out the door. And we can see that with Elon Musk as well in the automotive. 1.8 million cars, Teslas, got recalled because of a latch issue. In America, 1.1 million got recalled because of brake issues in China. So that's a lot of quantity. What it appears when you have a situation of those recalls, they're just pushing the product out the door. And if anything happens, they'll clean it up afterwards. It appears Boeing does the same thing and has been doing it for a long time. 203-556-1493. I thank you.